Hello, aspirants. Welcome to Hi-Fi of the Day by Alchemy IAS Institute. I am Suhas, and we are going to discuss the most important 5 news of the day. Central government has notified that the 16th census will be conducted soon, and the base date will be 2027 March 1st. And the census is going to conduct after 2011. The 2021 was the year that census needed to be conducted, but what happened? Because of COVID, the census have been postponed. So what is actually census? Census is a process of collect and analyze and compile data about a country's population. So what are data will be collected? Age, sex, language, religion, education, job, these kind of personal data will be collected. And why it is important? It helps the government in planning and making policies and distributing resources among the population. So let's talk about the history of census. Census was not started after the independence. Even way before independence and even way before the Britishers come in, census were there. The first census was conducted by Chanakya, Kautilya, that he's mentioning about the census in Arthashastra. He conducted a census for fixing the land revenue, like how much land revenue should be there. And during the Akbar's reign also, Aini Akbari was the data collection method for finding out how much tax should be introduced. And in British India, 1872 was the year which census conducted under Lord Mayo, but that census was at regional base. The first synchronized census was conducted in 1881 under Lord Ripon. The first census commissioner of India was W.C. Plowden. And after that, every 10 years, the census is being conducted without any disruption. But in 2021, it got disrupted because of COVID, and the last census was in 2021. Okay, and first census of Hindus was conducted in 1931. So this new census, like 16th census, will be conducted in 2 phases. First phase, it will collect the housing listed data, house listed phases that collect the house related data like water connection is there, electricity is there, all this, and how many square feet, what are the what type of house is there. And second phase is that population enumerated phase that collect the personal details. And why this 2027 census is important? That will collect caste based data, caste data for Hindu. And why it is important? Using this data, that reservation policy will be reframed, and that recalculation of seat to the Lok Sabha will be done after the collection of this data. And there will be 1/3 reservation for women in Lok Sabha. But this matter is a concern for smaller states with a smaller population, like lesser population, because the smaller states are fearing that political representation, if the seat is being distributed according to the population, that their political representation will be like lesser. Okay, and currently Lok Sabha seats are based on 1971 population data. It will be changed after this. And southern and small states which have controlled their population may get fewer seats in future. That is a matter of concern for smaller states. Another news is about mental health. Okay, mental health, earlier health insurance in India only considered physical illness. For insurance coverage, only physical illness were considered. Now, due to laws like Mental Health Act 2017, mental health is also considered health insurance plan. So why mental health is important? Why it matters? 1 out of 5 adults globally suffer from mental health issues, and because of these mental health issues, untreated mental illness causes over $1 trillion productivity loss every year. That is very huge thing. Okay, and what is driving to this change? Young Indians, like the age between 25 to 35 years, they are the most active group. Okay, they are searching for help because of mental stress and opting for insurance with mental health cover, and more open to therapy and emotional support apps like mental health issues like depression and anxiety, insomnia. These issues are there, stress. And women are the leading in mental health claims. Like compared to men, women faces mental health issues like more. Women are more likely to choose insurance with the mental health because of, like, particularly during the life stage transition like pregnancy and menopause, and they are caregivers. That caregiver role also built tension and stress in women, and this show then there is a cultural shift is that women started prioritizing themselves or prioritizing their own health over giving care to the family. So there is a cultural shift also there. Another news is we are going to cool down Earth by stratospheric aerosol injection. So what is this stratospheric aerosol injection? How it works? We will be injecting aerosols over stratosphere, like around 20 kilometers above Earth's surface, and that these particles, this will reflect particles like sulfur are sprayed in the atmosphere upper atmosphere, and these particles reflect sunlight back to the space. So whatever the sunlight coming, it will be reflected back to the space, and this help reducing the global temperature. This is exactly how volcano reduced the global temperature. Like whenever there is a global volcanic eruption happened, because of these sulfur particles, aerosol reflects sunlight back, the global temperature reduced to around 0.5 degrees Celsius. And this is how it works. And solar climate intervention methods are like surface albino enhancement, like that albino over the surface will reflect back the sunlight, and the increase the reflective of marine clouds. Then marine clouds or cloud over marine like ocean will be more whiter, and that will reflect more sunlight back, and this aerosol in the stratosphere also will reflect. And space-based methods are there, like space mirrors can reflect back the sunlight, and thinning of uh, cirrus cloud. Cirrus cloud will be like catching like trapping this heat radiation. If you thin the cirrus clouds, more radiation will be reflected back to space. Okay, but this is a matter of concern. Like this is actually controversial. What is the problem? What is the controversy? This global effect. If one country spraying aerosol, the whole world will be affected. If one country wanted to like reduce the temperature, but the whole effect will be on whole countries. Every country will be affected, and the possible side effect can be like ozone layer depletion can be there, and changes in rainfall can be there, and unequal cooling across the region, and risk of sudden warming if stopped. If you stopped this, sudden warming will be there. And actually this method is it's not a cure for this global warming. This is, we are just like arresting that global warming for a time of extent. Like emission is not reduced, like carbon shift, that this could shift the focus away from the real climate solution, like cutting emission. The cutting emission may not be considered as serious after this. So this is a matter of concern. And India's first gene-edited sheep, and scientists have successfully created a gene-edited sheep, a Kashmir Merino, making the first of its kind in India. So what gene is edited in this sheep? They targeted the myostatin gene, which normally limit the muscle growth of sheep. Okay, so by editing this gene, the scientists were able to increase the sheep's muscle growth by 30%. And this increased muscle growth, actually why it is important, this is to improve the meat production and farmers income. And this opens the door for transgenic editing other genes to make animals disease resistant, improve meat, milk, and wool quality, and produce useful proteins like medicines, like example medicines. And India is going to change the base year for the key economic indicators by 2026, announced by Saurabh Garg, Secretary of the Ministry of Science, Statistics and Program Implementation. And what all things will be changed? All is like, sorry, which all indications will be changed? GDP, IIP, Index of Industrial Production, and Consumer Price Index. And the new base year will be 2022-23 or 23-24, and the final release will be start from early 2026 only. So why this change is important? That base year change, actually like 2011-12 was the base year, 10-11 was the base year. After this change, they reflect the current economic reality, people's spending pattern, inflation, production level, and which evolved the over time. And last base year was 2011-12, sorry. And updating this base year will help in accurate measurement of growth and the inflation. And what will be new when we are changing this base year? that weights in the items of consumer price index will be changed, and based on household consumption expenditure survey, the data will be collected, and free ration like PDS systems and direct benefits transfer also may be added to the inflation calculation. And here is the question of the day. With reference to the consumer price index in India, consider the following statement. Consumer price index rural, consumer price index urban, and consumer price index combined are complied by the National Statistics Office, NSO. The CPI basket in the same for both rural and urban population. CPI includes prices collected from both organized and unorganized sectors. Headline inflation in India is measured using CPI industrial workers. Which of the above statements are correct? And option is here. Comment your answer